Well, so we are back here live from Dubai International Stadium for the last game of the evening, Eliminator, and the second half of the game. Run chase about to begin, and we have Fujairah Pacific Ventures who will be chasing 96 in their allotted 10 overs. And I have Neil Oja with me as my co-commentator.
Thank you so much, Asim. 96 of 60 for Fujairah Pacific Ventures. Practicing his shots there with two bats in his hand. He will require just one to hit those outside the boundary. Wonder if he had 12 runs.
Well, that's just to manage the weight in your hands. Here comes the two master blaster players of Fujairah Pacific Ventures, the star of the tournament so far, leading the chart, Muhammad Wasim, and the very talented Alishan Sharafu.
Definitely, Wasim would want to continue his momentum. The previous game, he couldn't do much. He would want to continue his momentum and play the big innings, ensure that his team has got all the runs required and finish it really quick so that it puts the pressure on Team Sharjah, who's going to play against the winner of this encounter.
That's the later part of the story, I'd say, Neil, because how I would look at it is seal the game first. If you go with that intention of finishing early, you're not going to get anything out. You're just going to get a win. You're going to play Bukhatir eventually. So regardless, try to seal the game, play safe, go with the required run rate, dispatch the bad balls, pick the good ones, and keep the singles, doubles, keep your partners playing. Very simple. Keep your basics in place.
Well, yes, again, I mean, these are perspectives for everyone who's listening to us. There are various ways to look at how one would want to approach the game. A big shout there. Very first ball. The umpire's not interested. Also, maybe because Wasim had started walking in. That creates some distance. Also, the height could be one of the factors.
Definitely, he was way forward there on that occasion, but the ball slightly coming in to the batsman. And Muhammad Wasim, on our perspective, I feel that was slightly hitting above the knee roll. Watch it closely. This time out of the park, Muhammad Wasim, typical Muhammad Wasim this time. And taking a step forward and dispatching it over the head of the fielder. Faizan Sheikh is just a spectator on that occasion.
Well, definitely would love to be the spectator to the shot. The way it sailed over the fence for a maximum. Mohammad Rashid, the skipper there, having a quick conversation with Amin. At the far end, we see Aditya Shetty sitting there.
Closely watching how does this man moves his feet, because there is a probability that he'll be bowling at him in the finale.
Well, quite possible probabilities of either of these two teams getting into the big finale. How it functions is the winner of this encounter goes on to play Sharjah Bukhatir 11. The winner of that encounter goes into the finals to play against the ACB Blues, who earlier today beat Sharjah Bukhatir 11, chasing down the total and booking their seat in the finals.
Will be another test that will be coming forward. This is the first step here in the eliminator, and then they have a bigger challenge. Whoever wins it against Sharjah Bukhatir.
Of our news, 405 tournament sixes so far. That is including Mohammad Wasim 6 So on the very second delivery of this innings, Faisal Amin will be bowling to Alishan Sharafu for the first time in this match.
Slamin with a lot of experience. Shoulders.
Waiting!
They're nicely driven there towards the point region. A dot ball straight to Rahman Gul. Safe fielder. Well, the kind of shape that this bowler Faisal Amin gets, when he's approaching towards the batsman, when the ball is closer to the batsman, it's really mesmerizing to see. It can anytime sneak into the willow.
Reminds me of an incident, but meanwhile, this time, just between the gap, backward point and third man, 4 of 4.
Short of length delivery and beautifully adjusted there by Alishan Sharafu. Stood back tall and then just glided it towards the gap between the short third man. Let's look at the replay there. Right in the gap between short third fielder and the point region.
Surely was not anticipating for the ball to come in so sharp and cramping him for room. The intent was right, depending on the length of the ball, but the movement, exaggerated movement, definitely surprised him. This time again, wanted to play straighter, front foot not being able to clear, and the ball coming in. End of the over, 11 for none.
Here we have Fahad Tariq. Tricky Fahad Tariq.
Again, one of those bowlers who gets that exaggerated movement. Single to start the over. Will bring Alishan Sharafu on strike.
Well, Neil, I think one of the main reasons why he's able to get that much of a swing is because of the slow pace. Well, coming closer to the batsman, slightly drifting it in the air, off the deck.
It's an art. It's an art. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Meanwhile, played it off the hips, backward square leg. Couple of runs there.
You're talking about swing. It reminds me of the great Praveen Kumar, the Indian, the master of swing bowling. So before that, we have a fun fact here. The sounds for the Urk Hai Army in the two towers were actually recorded by Peter Jackson. Get back to it after this ball.
Was the point dot ball there.
And a shy at the stance, but shy and biceps of the arms of Alishan Sharafu. He finds himself in a lot of pain there. I think that was not intended at all, Neil.
Well, definitely not, but the throw was a sharp throw, a fast, flat one. And looks like he's hurt himself on the elbow. These are definitely not the most easy places to, recover from.
Not a good sign at all.
Magic spray comes out, and for all Sharafu would be facing the next delivery with ease.
Strong guy.
There's a reason why they call this a magic spray.
So here we are. The two towers were actually recorded by Peter Jackson from the 2,000 strong crowd at the Westpac Stadium during the innings break of an ODI between England and New Zealand. And this is brought to you by Dafa News.
Sure that want to pick up crowd noise? Go to Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai, or even better, Eden Gardens, Kolkata.
Absolutely. And jam-packed stadiums.
Oh.
And you can hear it a kilometer afar. The crowd.
Been lucky enough to be a part of a match where Sachin Tendulkar and Ganguly were playing on the opposite sides. Franchise Cricket League. Meanwhile, again, swinging in. And a single.
Happened there, Neil? Was a chance of a run out, but I think hamstring.
Yeah. He
Just pulled his hamstring
was
there.
chasing the ball, ended up pulling his hamstring maybe. Don't think it's too serious there for Tariq, but that little niggle, sharp shooting pain from strength and conditioning perspective, you talk about change of direction. Again, shot of length, width on offer, and 4.
Well, it was not that bad of a delivery, I'd say. Not that width was not much, but Mohammad Wasim too quick on rocking back onto the back foot and then cutting it in the gap and gets a boundary. So moves on to 19. Ball coming in off the deck, and how beautifully did he adjust that? It was 19 for no loss after 1.5.
Last delivery to come through. Talking about that game at Eden Gardens. At that time, Eden Gardens didn't have bucket seats. So they could house over 100,000 people on the cemented blocks. Saurav Ganguly. Meanwhile, this time has been picked up in the air. It will bounce right in front of the fielder there. That's Gul, who does a clean-up act. Single to end the over. It's 20 without loss after 2.
After 2 overs, we are 20 for no loss. Mohammad Wasim and Alishan Sharfu.
20 without loss. 2. Third over to begin. Faisal Amin from the pavilion end. Shot run up. But extremely effective.
Lower in the air, I believe. It's up in the air. Faisal Amin coming underneath it, pops it. Should have been taken. The big fish, Mohammad Wasim.
You don't drop these catches. You don't drop these catches. You've seen what Ranjit Mani did when he was dropped early in the previous game. And here, you've given Wasim, the menacing Wasim, an opportunity, a life. Yes, the ball did go many miles up in the air. It almost was at the height of Burj Khalifa's top sphere. But then, look at this. He was standing about a couple of yards away from the fall of the ball. Karafu trying to take a couple of steps down so that he could change the angle of his shot, but ended up playing straight into the hands of the fielder at extra cover. The packed offside field inside the 30-yard circle. All you need to do is find the gap between the two fielders and you will be gifted with the boundary, paragraph over there, which reads that a lot of swing happening while playing against the Pakistani swing pair. Meanwhile, this time over the infield, one bounce, 4 runs.
And a good looking shot by Mohammad Wasim. And that's end of the over. 3 overs, 30 for no loss. So Alishan Sharfu batting on 12 of 9. Mohammad Wasim 18 of 9. And coming in for the fourth over. We'll have to wait and see who's the next bowler here. Meanwhile, there is a change in the com box. Replacing me will be Anurag and Kamran.
Thank you, Asim. And 30 for no loss after 3 overs. Steady start there in their chase. Fujairah Pacific Ventures required just 96 to win this match. Haven't lost a wicket. And both the batsmen, Alishan Sharafu and Wasim Mohammed, batting pretty well and solidly. To come down, one more over to go. They still have one more over for the power play to see how much more they can score or accelerate the scoring. But they've done pretty well. Steady start when they're chasing a 96. In fact, 95, and they need 96 to win.
Absolutely right, Anurag. And if you ask me honestly, it's a game more to lose for Fujairah Pacific Ventures rather than for Dubai Pulse Secure to win. Unless Fujairah Pacific Ventures do something very silly and they panic at some stage, it's going to be a good game for them. And a good shot, drilled down the ground. Ball just spats to the boundary rope for a boundary.
Yes, beautiful shot. Very well struck, that one, as we'll see it in the replay. Absolutely no chance to anybody when streaming over the boundary rope. And also, this is make it or break it game. The team which is losing is going home. And whatever you have in your arsenal, your armor, you need to bring it up and put on the great show here.
And what a show Fujairah Pacific Ventures have put on here. Although they would feel that they let Dubai Pulse Secure go a bit when they had them 26 for 5. We were thinking they might finish somewhere around 50 or 60. And this time it has been lofted over the infield with such power and elegance for a 6.
Beautiful shot that got to the pitch of the ball. It didn't get too much of elevation, but had enough power in it and cleared the field. As we'll see this lovely shot there. Beautiful. Lovely to watch.
So, making best use of the last over of the power play and making the target easier and easier to qualify for the second eliminator, which will take place tomorrow.
Absolutely. Good teams make use of the power play because that's the time when they know they can take more chances and use the pace of the bowler or step out because the field is in their favor. And 40 for no loss after 3.2.
Lovely delivery.
Good delivery there, and the batsman wanting to guide it away. The ball and the bat, no connection, goes to the wicket keeper. Good dot delivery there. And the score remains at 40 for no loss. And meanwhile, we have a fun fact. In 1850, John Wisden, the founder of the Wisden Almanac, became the only bowler in first-class cricket to take all 10 wickets in an innings such that all of them were clean bowled. Chris Martin, 233, Chandrasekhar, and we will come back to it later. Meanwhile, this is a lovely shot, played over on the offside, and lovely ball, beautifully hit, 4 runs.
Ali Shan Sharafu showing his range of shots. This time, bending one knee and square driving it. What an elegant shot. More of a square cut rather than the square drive. But the result is still a boundary. 44 for none, Fujairah Pacific Ventures.
As to continue with the fun fact, and it was B.S. Chandrasekhar, 242, have more test wickets than test runs, that is 123 and 167 respectively. Brought to you by Dafa News. Fun facts to keep us entertained.
Again, a lovely delivery. A mixed bag of an over from Omar Hafiz.
Yes, the batsman there trying to fish outside, trying to get a trickle so that they could get some runs, but no contact between bat and ball. Score remains 44 for no loss. One more delivery to come, and with that is the delivery. Let's see if Fujairah Pacific Ventures can take advantage of that, because this is the last delivery of the power play.
Omar Hafiz to bowl the last delivery of the power play. And this has been played cautiously for a single, so that will be the end of the 4 overs. Fujairah Pacific Ventures 45 for none.
Fujairah Pacific Ventures then needing 96 to win. Have already 45 on board, and they haven't lost a wicket. 4 overs have been bowled by Dubai Pulse Secure, and the match pretty well set up in favor of Fujairah Pacific Ventures. And as you rightly said, Kamran, it's their match to lose. And we can have a quick look at the Dubai Pulse Secure bowling. Faisal Amin has given 21 in his 2 overs. Fahad Tariq has given 9 in his 1 over. He's bowled pretty well. And Umar Hafiz has given 15 in his 1 over. None of the bowlers successful so far.
So at the end of the power play, that's a look. Although the worm of Fujairah Pacific Ventures look to be straightening a bit, but they are still way ahead in this run chase. 4 overs gone, and they need 51 of just 6 overs. So a comfortable target for them at the moment.
And Shafqat introduced, and as soon as he comes, makes his presence felt, and he has Ali Shan Sharafu trapped leg before wicket, and Ali Sharafu has to go back to the pavilion after a decent knock.
The man with the golden arm, Shafaqat Ali, comes into bowl and bowl the first delivery and traps Ali Shan Sharafu right in front. So that's the first wicket gone for Fujairah Pacific Ventures, 45 for 1.
Fujairah Pacific Ventures then losing their first wicket. So a little bit of inroads by Dubai Pulse Secure. That was Shafqat, who on his first delivery, very first delivery, got that wicket. And the new batsman at the crease is Basil Hamid, and he has joined Wasim Mohammed.
So Shafqat Ali doing what he has been doing best in this tournament. And like we were saying before the game started, had Dubai Pulse Secure scored just a little more runs, maybe 10-20 runs more, Shafqat Ali and Fahad Tariq, the bowling that they have been doing in the previous games, that could have become very handy.
And this one is turned nicely on the onside, and he'll get the fielder there. So another run. Fujairah Pacific Ventures require 51 of 35 deliveries. They're 46 for 1 in 4.2 overs, and Shafqat is in his first over. He's bowled 2 good deliveries, given 1 run, took a wicket on the first delivery, and the man in form, one of the top scorer of the tournament, Wasim Mohammed. He's on strike. He's got 18 of 9.
But as they say, it's not over till it's over. So funnier things have happened in cricket. Again, a good delivery from Shafqat Ali, cutting down the pace. And this is not a time for Wasim Mohammed to do silly things. But who knows? If Dubai Pulse Secure bowlers can bowl a couple of overs, silent overs like this, and then take a couple of wickets, it might send a bit of a panic in the ranks of Fujairah Pacific Ventures, and who knows what happens.
That ball outside the off stump. He's trying to guide that Basil Hamid, not making contact. Goes to the wicket keeper. Dot ball. And the run rate 10.07. And the asking is lower than that, which is 9.19. So they are pretty much on course unless disaster strikes them and they lose some very quick wickets.
Yeah, Anurag, and this is not the kind of surface where a new batsman would come, especially in the second innings, with the scoreboard pressure, because in the first innings usually you don't have that pressure. You are just you just keep on scoring runs. Again, a lovely delivery. But in the second innings, what happens is that when you go to bat, you have certain score, certain target in back of your mind, and that sometimes play strange, stupid things to you. So this required run rate, which is already 9.5, a couple of wickets here and there, that would shoot up to 12, and then it's game on.
Absolutely, you have summed it up very well, Kamran. And yes, there are advantages and disadvantages of chasing and the scoreboard pressure. Last delivery coming up now. Oh, this one, he gets underneath it and hits it well. And we'll wait for the umpire's signal. Yes, it's some maximum. 6 runs to end the over. It is 53 for 1 after 5.
So half the overs are gone of Fujairah Pacific Ventures chase. They are chasing a target of 96, and they at the halfway mark they are 53 for 1. So on the last delivery of the last over, Wasim Mohammed made sure that it doesn't really go as a silent over, but still with that hit, that over brought only 8 runs and a wicket. So a good over in the context for Dubai Pulse Secure. They need a couple of such overs more. And let's see what happens. And Anurag, I think the best thing would for Dubai Pulse, for Fujairah Pacific Ventures would be not to take this game too deep. They should have a calculated risk. They should take a calculated risk and try to manufacture an over of 15 or 20 runs, sixth one or seventh one.
Oh, well, this one very gently played back to the bowler. Kamran, coming to what you were saying, which means you would like them to finish this game in the next 3 overs, say by the 8th over, 7th or 8th over. Meanwhile,
here's a comparison of how both teams have done. Just look at those blue lines. Uppercut. In the gap. Ball races down to the boundary. For a four.
Very nice shot by Wasim Mohammed. Got on top of that and found the gap between the two fielders and raced to the boundary. 4 runs. Good 4 runs there. Fully in control.
Coming back to that point, that's Ihtisham Seth, who is on the who is just conceded Talabat tournament 4 number 566. He was the main man while Dubai Pulse Secure was batting. Coming back to that point, it's not about finishing the game early. Sometimes you just give yourself a comfort
point. Beautifully played, 4 runs, and well, the score is moving quite quickly now. We have 61 for the loss of 1 wicket and 1 more delivery to go in the 6th over.
So the last delivery of 6th over, Ihtisham Seth. Again, this over has brought only 8 runs. So it is till now below the required rate. So a big ball coming up. And this time it has been lofted. Will the fielder come underneath it? Not at all. As it goes over the boundary for a 6.
$67 for 1 after the completion of 6 overs, and Fujairah Pacific Ventures on course to get the required 96 runs to win. I've just lost 1 wicket, batting very sensibly, and yes, complacency shouldn't set in. They shouldn't leave too much for too late.
Exactly, Anurag, and as we were saying, that should look for 15-20 runs over. So the last over bringing 14 runs. And here comes Fahad Nawaz, who has been cut away and deep. And batsmen are coming back for the second run. Just to tell viewers about the humidity at the venue. So the commentary box we are in. And right now there has been so much fog. We'll come back to it.
Quickly, a fun fact. Jonty Rhodes once got the Man of the Match award in the first class game without even being in the playing 11 when he came on as a substitute fielder and took 7 catches.
From our commentary box, there's so much fog on our glass window in front of us that we are struggling to inside the ball now. That's how humid it is. And just imagine, think about these batsmen out there.
Oh, he foxes him with that delivery. Came in and the batsman was not in line, got an edge. Lucky did not ricochet to the stumps. Good delivery there by Fahad. And coming back to what you said, sometimes now I think in retrospect that sometimes we are cruel to the field, to the players on the field, because the amount of salt they're losing from their body and the amount of sweat and the kind of energy that it is a very tough ask of them.
This time, Basil Hamid comes down and drills it past the sweeper cover fielder for a boundary, a much-needed boundary for Fujairah Pacific Ventures.
Fujairah Pacific Ventures cruising here. Look at that. He comes out, makes room and finds his spot. No fielder there. Beautiful shot. 4 runs.
So that also brings that was Talabat tournament 4 number 568. So 21 more needed of 20 deliveries. And this time he goes aerial. Over the top, fielder coming underneath it and takes a good tumbling catch. So are we going to see another twist in the tail as Basil Hamid perishes?
Basil Hamid wanting to play a big shot there, holding out to the fielder there. Good catch there, kept his balance, and he has to take the walk back.
So second wicket of Fujairah Pacific Ventures are gone. They are 75 for 2, chasing 96. 19 more deliveries left in this game, and they need 21 more. So funny things happen. In walks Fujairah Pacific Ventures captain Asif Khan, who cuts this first delivery and ambles across for a single, and that would be the end of the 7th over. 7 overs gone, 76 for 2.
And the digital streaming partners for this telecast: Fan Code for the Indian subcontinent, Etisalat Live for UAE, Willow TV for USA and Canada, Sports Eye Facebook page, rest of the world, and it's a ITW SF360 digital production for Emirates Cricket Board. Brought to you by Dafa News, and there's a change in commentary. To take you till the end of this match, it's going to be Neil Ojha and Asim Sheikh.
Thank you, Anurag. And we have the skipper, Mohammad Rashid, into the attack. And it will be skipper to skipper. Asif Khan to face Mohammad Rashid. It's came down the track, but mistiming it just only for a single. And there is a no ball as well on that occasion. Wait and see. Free hit on offer as well. Like it was for the sideline.
Well, yes, starting off with a no ball there, skipper. He would have given a piece of his mind to a bowler who would do that. This time again stepping down. But we'll just get a single. Dealing in singles, and that should be absolutely fine when you just need about 18 odd runs to win in 16 deliveries. Or in fact, 17 required in 17 deliveries.
Run a ball situation, but I don't think they'll be keeping it till the last over, for sure.
They shouldn't. Come on! Try to swing it hard. Adnan took a blow on his shoulder. And a dot ball. All sorts of drama happening here.
Not sure why the new man, the captain himself, Asif Khan, is taking the risk, wherein he has the set batsman Mohammad Wasim on the other end.
Exactly.
Just trying to act funny there.
I know. Can't understand sometimes way the minds of the captains work. I'm drilled it. Just a single.
Rahman Gul, the fielder, on that occasion. And had he not charged down, that would have been an over-pitch delivery, Neil. Would have been much easier to dispatch out of the
half volley, in fact. Up in the air, but no one underneath. Will be a single there.
I think the kind of approach that they're having at the moment here, Neil, it seems that they want to target this particular over, and it has been a boundaryless over so far by the captain.
Absolutely. 4 balls. 2 more deliveries to go. Can he finish on a high? Rashid. Definitely. Asif has some other plans. He is going to finish it. Not really. Catch taken. Interesting turn of events over here. Through the foggy screens of the comm box, we see Asif Khan taking the long walk back.
Unnecessary. This is sheer stupidity, I would say. It wasn't the need of the hour. You just stay down, carry your bat, and seal the victory for the team. And that 81 for 2 in 7.5.
Mohammad Kaleem comes in, replacing the skipper. Just lost his wicket there. 1 more delivery to go off the skipper's over. Goes skipper to skipper, and skipper got skipper.
Successful bowling change here. Boundaryless over. Rarely you see that in this format.
Bowling is slow. Very, very slow. And that is the secret of bowling on this wicket. 81 for 3 after 8.
17 required from It's Mohammad Kaleem on strike here, and he'll be facing Fahad Nawaz. Will there be a twist and tail here, Neil? What do you think?
Would be very, very interesting to see. Fahad Nawaz again is a tricky bowler. And he's got him. Mohammad Kaleem is out. Is there a massive turn of events in favor of Dubai Pulse Secure? We'll have to wait and watch, but this one is a biggie.
Unnecessary. And let us see the wicket here. There's certain edge on that occasion. Loud noise. Mohammad Kaleem.
'81 for 4 in 8.1. This one is the first eliminator, which means the loser of this game, like Anurag has been saying, goes home. Good nights, curtains, tada, bye-bye, Rasvidania, everything that you can say from this tournament. Obviously, they'll obviously keep on continuing playing and improving the game. But then, hey, you know, all these teams, 6 teams, have played 10 games each, double round robin, and top 4 teams have reached the stage. They've proved time and again that they can handle the pressure situation that this format puts you in. Meanwhile, Fahad Nawaz, single there for Lukman.
An aggressive field setup here for the new batsman could have added some sort of pressure while he was facing that ball. Probably get a mid-wicket up, or some sort of improvisation in the field.
Well, again, I mean, one would want to argue on that point and say that, hey, yeah, that's a good thought. But in counter argument, one would say, the player really thinks so much when he's batting in this format. Look at this, stepping down to a bowler who is turning the ball, Mohammad Kaleem, and you're playing at deep mid-wicket where there is a fielder, there is a fielder at long on, and you're trying to hit in the same direction. Mohammad Wasim there, and also you are the only batsman. Rafu got out a while back. Asif Khan 3 of 5, Basil Hamid 14 of 8. Mohammad Kaleem did not open his account. Couldn't really provide the impetus that the top order batsman, the opening batsman, in fact, gave the team. Meanwhile, Nawaz will be bowling to Lukman. Stood there, up in the air, but falling short of the long on fielder. Was trying to replicate the shot that he hit previously, but mistimed it completely. The ball did grip and came on to Lukman a tad slow.
That was slightly short of length compared to the previous ball. That is one of the reasons. And he'll be there, smartly played there by Mohammad Wasim. With that single, score moves on to 91 for 4 in 9 overs. This is the final over of the evening. Neil, we have five. Fujairah requires five of the last legal six deliveries.
And it's going to be Rashid Khan. Mohammad Rashid, in fact, the skipper of Dubai Pulse Secure. Can he secure a victory for his team? Wasim, meanwhile, goes on the back foot, up in the air, and the ball is dispatched into the fence. 6 runs. That is the end for Dubai Pulse Secure. They bow out of this tournament, but not without giving a fight, a valid fight, a legit fight. But it was the firepower of Fujairah Pacific Ventures that came trumps tonight.
And that innings definitely from Mohammad Wasim has increased the gap between him and Britya. He'll take a lot of positive out of this game, especially the knock, before getting into the knockout stages, before getting into the second qualifier, I'd say. And they'll be facing Sharjah Bukhat 11 tomorrow. And what a knock here by Mohammad Wasim. Stayed calm despite wickets falling from the other end. But the game was already into the other side, but you never know. You've seen wickets falling like 9 pins in the previous occasions, and that has added pressure.
Well, yes, rightly said there, Asim. All said and done, whatever the target, you need to go out and achieve that. If you miss that target, even by a run, you still end up losing it. It's not that how close you came, it's about did you cross the line? And Pacific Ventures did cross the line with 5 balls to spare, and courtesy a great knock by Mohammad Wasim, stood there tall, ensured that he sees the innings through and got his team into the qualifier too.
So here we have the batting card of Fujairah Pacific Ventures carrying his bat throughout. Mohammad Wasim, 44 of 23. What a knock. Ali Shan Sharfu giving the excellent start as usual, 27 of 16. We had Asif Khan fell cheaply, 3 of 5. Basil Hamid, 14 of 8. Muhammad Kalim out for a golden duck, and Hazrat Luqman with that 6. He ended up 8 of 3.
Well, I'm so sure Dubai Pulse Secure would be thinking that wish we had 15 odd runs more. The bowling card, Faisal Amin, 2 overs, 21, was unlucky to not get a wicket on his name, bowled really well. Fahad Tariq used for just 1 over, gave away 9 runs. Omar Hafiz, 1 over, 15 runs. Pretty